Never before has it been so easy to become homeless in New York City. Behind the bright lights of Times Square and the proud torch of the Statue of Liberty lies a growing crisis. Tens of thousands of people with no place to call home. If you walk away from the main streets into the alleys of Manhattan or Brooklyn, you'll find a different New York, one filled with tents, trash, and people sleeping under bridges or on sidewalks. The city that once symbolized opportunity now feels like a battlefield for survival. According to the Coalition for the Homeless, there are more than 350,000 people in New York without stable housing. Around 132,000 sleep in shelters each night, while thousands more stay in subway stations, parks, or under bridges. Many of the homeless are elderly people who once worked hard, paid taxes, and built the city's wealth. Now, they have nothing. Homelessness is visible everywhere, from Central Park to Broadway. Even the most famous landmarks are surrounded by scenes of poverty and despair. How did a city with a GDP bigger than some countries end up with hundreds of thousands sleeping on the streets? Manhattan, the heart of America's financial power, shows this contrast most sharply. Streets like West 39th between 9th and 10th Avenues are filled with tents. Police say some areas are now too dangerous to patrol at night. The city is trying to solve this, but the cost is enormous. Housing, healthcare, jobs, and mental health support all require massive funding. Yet even as the city works on solutions, prices keep rising faster than people can keep up. Today, New York is the most expensive city in America. Food prices have jumped by up to 90% since the pandemic, while the income of elderly retirees has grown less than 25%. Rent is completely out of control. A one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan costs over $4,000 a month, but most New Yorkers earn far less than what's needed to afford that. According to federal guidelines, housing costs shouldn't exceed 30% of income, yet over 40% of residents spend half their income or more just on rent. For every 100 low-income families, only 36 affordable apartments exist. That means most families are left with no choice but to live on the streets. For older people surviving on small pensions, it's impossible to keep up. And it's not just the elderly. Many children grow up homeless too. They beg for food, miss school, and learn to survive before they learn to read. Homelessness is no longer limited to the poor. Even the working and middle class are at risk. One unexpected medical bill or job loss can be enough to send someone to the streets. The middle class, the group that once held America together, is shrinking fast. In New York, many who had stable homes now live in cars, with relatives, or in shelters while still working full-time jobs. At the same time, immigration adds more pressure to an already overloaded system. In the last 2 years, over 175,000 immigrants and refugees have arrived in New York. The city spent $2 billion trying to provide housing, food, and medical care, but it's reaching its limit. Many newcomers end up in overcrowded shelters or sleeping on the streets. New York was once a beacon of hope, but now it's struggling to keep that promise. The city that welcomed the world is turning into a place where even its own people can't find shelter. Behind every number, there's a story. Lydia, 78, has been homeless for over 40 years. She lost her rent-controlled apartment and was never able to get another one. Lisa, a teenage girl, was forced to live on the streets after conflicts with her foster parents. She sleeps near a church for safety. Her only wish is to have her own place and live in a peaceful world. Richard once had a family and a steady job, but after his wife got sick, he lost everything. Shelters were unsafe, and now he lives on the street, invisible to everyone passing by. These people are not exceptions. They represent a growing group of Americans who have fallen through the cracks. Homelessness is no longer someone else's problem. It could happen to anyone. Every day, New Yorkers walk past them without seeing, not because they're blind, but because these people have become invisible. When parks turn into shelters and sidewalks into beds, it's no longer just an economic issue, it's a moral one. New York once stood for opportunity, diversity, and compassion, but if even this city no longer has room for the poor, the old, and the hardworking, what does that say about the future of America? The American dream may still exist, but for many in New York, it's now out of reach. That's all for the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more content. Thanks for watching.